Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Picture this, right? You're just sitting at your computer and you type in, like a cat chases a laser pointer across a crowded desk. You hit enter, and boom, you've got a movie. And not some, blurry, pixelated mess, but a real movie, high definition, with a mischievous cat, a laser beam bouncing off coffee mugs, the whole deal.
It's like having a whole Hollywood studio right there at your fingertips.
Exactly. And that's honestly what has me so pumped for today's deep dive. We're talking Meta's movie gen. And this isn't just like some incremental AI thing. This is a whole suite of models that could totally change how we make videos.
What's wild is how Meta has taken these different AI models, each of them like a specialist in something, and combined them. It's like, not just one magic button. It's this whole orchestra of algorithms working together.
Okay, so break this down for me. We're talking about AI that can make video from text, edit it like that, and even personalize it, all of that.
You got it. And it all starts with this thing called, get this, movie gen video.
Okay, catchy name.
Right. But this thing is a beast, and I mean that literally. We're talking 30 billion parameters.
30 billion? I can barely remember my own phone number. Put that into perspective. What does that even mean?
Imagine trying to teach a computer to actually see, to understand every little detail in a movie, in every single frame. 30 billion parameters, that's movie gen video trying to do just that. It's learning, like how things move, lighting to textures, every tiny thing that makes a video feel real.
So this isn't those older AI videos that looked, well, kind of like a flip book a toddler made.
No way, not even close. What's cool is that movie gen, it's like it has this memory, right? It's got this thing called a 73,000 video token context length.
Long. Hold on, video tokens. Now you're messing with me.
Sorry, it's just, well, think of a video token like it's a piece of visual information, one frame, right? It might have tons of these tokens. But movie gen, it can remember and then process 73,000 of them. That's how it can make these longer videos, like 16 seconds long, with this crazy detail, and it all still looks right. Remember that cat chasing the laser pointer? Movie gen can track all of it, the cat's movements, how the laser bounces around, even the junk all over the desk, and it all looks smooth and real. It's completely changing the game for AI video.
So it's not just throwing images together. It gets how those images go together in time.
Exactly. And that's where this gets really interesting. We're not talking just basic scenes anymore. This tech can actually handle stories, narratives that, happen over time.
Okay, now you got me hooked. I'm all about a good story.
Tell me more. How does movie gen do that? The story part. What can it actually do? So we're talking full-on storytelling. I could write a scene with people talking, action, different camera angles, the whole thing, and movie gen would just make it happen.
You got it. Movie gen video, it's got these different capabilities, right? And they give you that control. So there's the basic one, text to video, where you literally just, type what you want to see and the AI makes it.
Okay, that's what I thought. But what about editing? Real movies aren't just pointing a camera and yelling action. You're telling me it's way more than that. It's like editing with magic. You don't need all that, complicated software. You tell it what you want, plain English, make it nighttime or put some birds in the sky, and it actually does it. It re-renders the whole scene.
No way. That's got to save so much time. It'd be like having a whole VFX crew, but, without the Hollywood budget.
Exactly. And we haven't even gotten to the personalization stuff. That's where things get really, futuristic.
Wait, personalized, like those deep fake things online. This isn't going to be like that, is it?
No, not even close. Movie gen's way more advanced than that. Okay, so imagine, right, you want to make a video for, I don't know, your website, and you want to be in it, but who has time for a shoot?
Oof, tell me about it.
Right, so instead of just slapping your face on some random person, Movie Gen actually learns how you look, your bone structure, what your expressions are like, even how the light changes how you look, and then it just puts you right into the video.
So it's it makes this digital version of me that's way better than those old 3D models.
Yeah, exactly. It gets how you look in a way that actually makes sense and looks real in a whole video. Think about it, right? Personalized stuff for school or video games where you're actually in the game, the possibilities are crazy.
Okay, you definitely blew my mind there. But you know me, visuals are one thing, but a movie needs something more, like a vibe. A good soundtrack is huge. Can Movie Gen do that too?
You're preaching to the choir. Sound is essential, and that's where Movie Gen audio comes in. This model, it's got, get this, 13 billion parameters of its own, and it's specifically made to create like amazing audio that totally syncs up with the video.
So it's not just like pulling some random sound effects from a library.
Nope. Movie Gen Audio doesn't just add sounds. It gets what's happening in the scene, the mood, the action, even the rhythm, and then it makes the perfect audio to go with it.
Okay, I need an example. Say we've got this like chase scene happening in a crowded marketplace. What would Movie Gen Audio do with that?
Oh man, it would be amazing. It would make this whole immersive soundscape, right? You'd hear the crowd talking, the carts, rolling over the cobblestones, even the sound of the heroes' footsteps as they're running. You'd feel like you're right there in the middle of it all.
Wow, that's incredible. But how? How do you teach a machine to understand like mood and rhythm? Those are pretty, human things.
That's the magic, right? They trained Movie Gen Audio on this massive, massive data set of videos with their soundtracks. And, over time, it starts to connect like what it sees happening with the sounds that usually go with it. So like a smiling character, maybe it adds happy music, a car chase. It knows the audio needs to be fast, intense.
That's insane. It's like Movie Gen is coming up with its own like cinematic language. It's not just copying. It's actually learning how to tell a story with sound.
Exactly. It's about creating like this whole audio experience that makes the visuals hit you even harder.
Okay, now I'm really curious about the tech behind this. I mean, this all sounds amazing, but
Mm.
honestly, it kind of makes my head spin a little.
I hear you. It's a lot to take in. But good news, you don't need to be, a computer whiz to get the basics.
All right, lay it on me.
So there are like three key things about how Movie Gen works. First, there's this thing called spatiotemporal compression. Imagine a whole movie, right? Tons and tons of data. So Movie Gen uses this thing called, get ready for it, a temporal autoencoder. TE for short.
Catchy.
I know, right? But basically, it takes that movie, all that data, and squishes it down into a much smaller file, but it keeps all the important stuff.
So like a zip file for a movie, you're making it smaller, but not losing any of the like good parts.
Exactly. Think of like packing a suitcase, right? You can't take your whole closet, so you pick the stuff you really need. That's what the TE does. It grabs the most important visual stuff and compresses it, makes the whole thing way more efficient.
That makes sense. What's next?
Okay, so remember how we were talking about the personalization stuff? Think about how hard it is, even for like professional video editors, to just put somebody into different scenes but make sure they still look like, themselves.
Ugh, don't remind me.
Yeah.
That's like the worst part of editing my vacation videos.
I feel you. Well, Movie Gen, it's figured that out. It uses this whole complicated process to learn like your bone structure, how your face moves, all of it. And then it uses that information for the whole video, no matter the lighting or where the camera is. It's like having a like digital twin you can just drop into anything.
Okay, that is seriously cool. All right, so we've got like super efficient compression, mind-blowing personalization. What's the third thing?
The third thing, and honestly, this might be the biggest deal, is that Movie Gen can edit without being supervised.
Unsupervised. What does that even mean when we're talking about like editing?
Okay, so usually to teach an AI to edit, you got to give it like a million examples of good editing. It's like showing a kid tons of paintings and saying, see, this is good art. Now you go make some.
That sounds kind of tedious.
Yeah, no kidding. But Movie Gen, it's different. It learns how to edit by itself just by looking at a ton of video data and figuring out like the patterns, the things that make editing good. It figures it out on its own.
So it's like Movie Gen is developing its own style, its own rhythm, just like, a human editor would.
You got it. And this is huge for AI because it means we can make these systems that learn creative stuff naturally without someone having to like explain every single rule.
Wow. This is all incredibly powerful and honestly a little bit terrifying if you really think about it. So for those of us listening who aren't, tech geniuses, why should we even care about Movie Gen?
That is the question, isn't it? Why should we care? Well, I mean, on a practical level, Movie Gen has the potential to like change who gets to create. Imagine, right? Anyone, anywhere making amazing videos with just their imagination and like a few sentences. That changes everything for like school, marketing, movies, everything.
It's like everyone gets their own little film crew.
Yeah.
No more needing expensive gear or like, knowing all the technical stuff.
Exactly. And it's not just about making videos easier to make. It's about a whole new level of like creativity, of telling stories. Think about it. Students can make like really cool presentations. Small businesses can make professional commercials. People who want to make movies, they can finally actually do it and they don't have to like spend a fortune to do it.
This is all so exciting. But, with any new tech, especially something this powerful, we got to think about like the downsides. Could someone use this to make fake news.
Wow.
Or like super realistic deepfakes to hurt people.
Those are the questions, right? Movie Gen, it's like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It all comes down to like how we choose to use it. We have to be really careful, really thoughtful to put things in place to stop people from abusing it.
So it's not just about what we can do, but what we should do.
100%. It's a conversation we need to be having right now as a society.
This deep dive has been, well, a lot. We've gone from cats and laser pointers to the future of, like, making movies in no time.
Yeah.
If I had to sum it up, I'd say Movie Gen isn't just some, like, cool AI toy. This could change everything about how we make and watch videos.
Totally agree. And it's happening now. To everyone listening, if you're feeling, inspired, I'd say go check out some of the videos and demos of Movie Gen online. It's pretty amazing stuff.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going deep on the ethical stuff, the really big questions about AI-generated content. Don't go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we're back and ready to really get into it, the ethical stuff. I got to say, this part always makes me a little, I don't know, uneasy. It's exciting to think about what we could create, but, tech can be used in ways that aren't so great, too.
Yeah, it's good to be cautious. Movie Gen is like any powerful tool, right? We have to use it the right way, thoughtfully. It's like, I don't know, imagine discovering some new energy source. Super powerful, but it could be good or bad depending on what you do with it.
So how do we even start to, think about the ethics of AI making stuff? What are the, big worries here?
I think one of the biggest ones is, people using it for bad stuff. Imagine using Movie Gen to make fake news footage that looks totally real, or those deep fakes that could, ruin someone's reputation or even, cause violence.
That's scary stuff. And with something like Movie Gen, it seems like that could happen on a much bigger scale than ever before, right?
Exactly. It's not just a one-off thing anymore. It's about the potential for mass deception and, manipulation. And it doesn't even have to be on purpose. Even if the data they use to train these AIs has biases in it, it could create stuff that, perpetuates harmful stereotypes or makes existing inequalities even worse.
That's a really good point. We think of AI as being objective, but if it learns from data that's biased, well,
Yeah.
the stuff it makes is going to be biased too, like that saying garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. So what can we do? Well, we have to talk about it, openly and honestly. We need to be aware of the risks and come up with ethical guidelines for how we make and use this tech.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about us, humans. We need to be smart about how we build these things, how we train them, how we use them.
Absolutely. And it's not just on the tech people either. We all have a part to play in this as everyday users. We need to be careful, questioning what we see online, especially if it seems a little too real.
It's like anything else. We need to be informed, pay attention, not just passively consume everything.
Exactly. We got to have these conversations now about, ethics and responsibility, at the beginning of this whole thing, not after it's too late.
This deep dive has been, wow, a wild ride, seriously. We started with cats chasing lasers, and now we're talking about the future of, well, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I think if I had to sum it up, Movie Gen is huge. It's not just a cool AI trick. This could fundamentally change how we make and experience all media.
I'm right there with you. And it's all happening right now. For everyone listening, if you're, curious, if this got you thinking, go check out some of those videos and demos of Movie Gen online. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It really is. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and never, ever stop imagining.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.